Rangers transfer plans are already starting to take shape ahead of the next window. But one name that continues to surface is Tromsø's highly rated midfielder Jens Hjerto Dahl. Let's break this down. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. Now, in a development that could significantly impact the Light Blues' pursuit, the 20-year-old has spoken out, and his message is loud, clear, and potentially concerning for Ibrox. Despite strong interest from multiple clubs in January, including Rangers under Danny Röhl, it wasn't the Scottish Giants who came closest to landing him. That honour went to Turkish powerhouse Besiktas, who tabled a staggering £7.7 million offer to prize him away from Tromsø. A deal of that magnitude for a 20-year-old playing in Norway is the kind that usually turns heads, and more often than not gets accepted. But not this time. Hjerto Dahl made the shock decision to reject the move, not stall it, not negotiate, reject it outright. And now we know why. Speaking publicly about that moment, the Norwegian youth international admitted it was anything but straightforward. This wasn't a quick decision, it was a defining one. He revealed that he had to go through a lot of rounds with his family and representatives before making the final call. That alone tells you everything about the scale of the offer and the pressure involved. But what's even more telling is what came next. Hjerto Dahl didn't just stay, he committed. The midfielder has since signed a brand new long-term contract with Tromsø, tying him to the club until the end of 2029. In modern football, where young talents often jump at the first major opportunity, this is a rare show of loyalty and a clear statement of intent. Even more striking was his tone. There was no hesitation, no regrets, no maybe in the future. He made it crystal clear. He believes he made the right decision, and more importantly, he's happy. "I now feel 100% that it was the right choice," he said, reinforcing that his heart is firmly in Tromsø, at least for now. And then came another moment that raised eyebrows across Scandinavia. When asked about the possibility of joining domestic rivals Bodo Glimt, a club riding high after their historic run to the Champions League knockout stages, his response was blunt, one word: no. No hesitation, no diplomacy, just a flat-out rejection. It's the kind of answer that tells you everything about his mindset. Loyalty clearly matters to Hjerto Dahl. Identity matters, and he's not someone easily swayed, even by success, money, or prestige. Which brings us back to Rangers. Interest from Ibrox hasn't gone away. The club have been tracking him, monitoring his development, and clearly see something in him that fits their long-term vision. But here's the reality. This is no longer a straightforward transfer. Rangers wouldn't just be negotiating with Tromsø now, they'd be trying to convince a player who has already turned down big money, already committed his future, and already proven he won't move unless it feels right. That changes everything, because this isn't about price anymore, it's about persuasion. And, based on his latest comments, that might be the biggest hurdle of all. So what happens next? There's a very real possibility that Rangers reassess. With the player publicly content, contractually tied down, and emotionally invested in staying put, Ibrox decision makers may decide their efforts are better spent elsewhere, especially with other targets likely more attainable and equally aligned with their recruitment model. Of course, things can change quickly in football. A strong start to the season, a shift in ambition, or the right project being presented could reopen the door. Rangers, after all, offer a pathway to European football, a demanding fan base, and a platform to accelerate a young player's career. But right now, all signs point to a player exactly where he wants to be. And for Rangers, that might just mean one thing. This is a transfer that's starting to slip away, unless something dramatically changes. In other news, tensions have spilled into the open within the North Macedonia camp, with manager Goce Sedlowski publicly questioning the commitment of Rangers striker Bojan Miovski following his abrupt departure from international duty. Miovski, who has found himself struggling for consistent starts at Rangers, was left frustrated after being named on the bench for his country's crucial World Cup playoff clash. That frustration appears to have boiled over in the aftermath of North Macedonia's heavy 4-0 defeat to Denmark national team, a result that ended their hopes of reaching the tournament. Rather than remain with the squad, Miovski was granted permission to leave the camp early, returning to Glasgow before international duty had officially concluded. While such decisions can sometimes pass without controversy, this one has clearly struck a nerve with Sedlowski, who did not hold back in his assessment of the situation. The North Macedonia boss suggested that selection decisions were based heavily on club form and regular playing time, a pointed remark that appeared to be aimed directly at Miovski. With the striker not currently a guaranteed starter at Rangers, Sedlowski implied that others had earned the right to be ahead of him in the national pecking order. But it was the manner of Miovski's reaction that drew the sharpest criticism. Sedlowski made it clear that, in his view, walking away from the squad sends the wrong message, not to the manager, but to the nation itself. He stressed that no player should feel entitled to his starting place, regardless of reputation or expectation, and warned that frustration over selection should never override responsibility to the national team. In a pointed statement, Sedlowski suggested that any player unwilling to accept their role is not letting him down personally, but rather turning their back on representing their country. The situation was not isolated to Miovski alone. Alexander Trajkovski, currently playing for Lokomotiva Zagreb, also left the camp early, prompting further concern about unity within the squad at a critical moment. Despite the public criticism, Sedlowski stopped short of completely shutting the door on those involved. He acknowledged that both players could still feature for North Macedonia in the future, but reinforced that selection decisions will remain entirely in his hands. A clear message of authority as he looks to maintain discipline and standards within the group. For Miovski, the episode raises fresh questions at a pivotal stage in his career. Already battling for consistent opportunities at Rangers, this international controversy adds another layer of scrutiny. Whether he can respond positively, both at club level and on the international stage, may now define how he is viewed moving forward, not just by his manager, but by supporters back home. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.